Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane. And in just a moment, I'm going to be interviewing two fabulous artists, John Fasano and JODIANN Fasano. They are a dynamic art team together. Let's take a look at these two fascinating artistic and creative people. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and we are here in my pink kitchen, and I'm interviewing fabulous, famous artists. They are a duo team, husband and wife, JODIANN and John Fasano. So you guys look terrific, and I want to welcome you to my pink kitchen.
Beautiful.
As you could see. So you guys are not the only artistic guys out there. As you know, I love pink. That's my favorite color. And my whole house is pink. But we are going to get into John and JODIANN. I'm going to tell my audience a little bit about you, John. And then I want JODIANN to tell me also about herself as well. But this is something that I found about you alone. So I want to read to my audience what you are all about first before we get into the questions. Queen-born John Fasano is a decorative artist by trade. After studying interior decorative finishing in New York, Fasano went into business for himself. Today, he continues to work for interior designers, builders, and architects from his East Long Island studio. He creates work-based art on surreal and abstract ideas. Using paint as his medium, he conveys a surreal, lucid, dream-inspired message to his viewers. His surrealism work combines reality with a spiritual essence, while his abstract work is more spontaneous and fluid. So this is amazing. Now, JODIANN, I want you to tell my audience a little bit more about yourself and you know, how you and John met.
Well, it's going to be about 13 years ago this February. John and I met actually online. And I was going through something, and we just connected our artistic sides. I saw that he was an artist, and I was somewhat of an artist. I didn't claim myself as an artist or anybody in the art field, but we met, and
now, did you meet through a dating thing, an online dating thing?
An online dating site.
It was called Italian People Meet.
Yeah.
Italian People Meet, because you know, I was a single artist living in the city, eating like bologna sandwiches, and I needed like an Italian woman in my life that can cook, because I was like starving, you know. And one of her pictures was her making meatballs, and she was out of my league. She was way too good looking for me, but I tried. And somehow, I don't know, it worked out.
My cousin kept forcing me. She's like, "Why don't you go for him?" And I'm like, "I don't know. This isn't working out." So anyway, I sent a message, and he was like, "Well, let's go to the city to you know, what was it, a comedy show?"
That's right. Yeah, comedy club. Yeah, downtown in the city.
Me up. I was living in Westchester, in Yonkers, and he came to the house, and
like a nice Italian boy always does. He comes to the house to pick you up.
Yes,
as my father would say.
That's right. I know, exactly. So he came to the house to pick me up.
Good time. Love at first sight. We were together ever since.
And we never left each other's side since then. And when he came into the house, he noticed that I had paintings that I drawn on my kitchen. And he goes, "You're an artist?" And I said, no. But I dabbled in creativity I made my kids clothes when they were little. I made albums. I was always creative somehow, some way. And then it just died. It fizzled out along the years. And John,
but I think hanging around me, I kind of inspired her, you know?
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
there was a point in my life where we landed a contract to do the Abercrombie and Fitch stores, the house stores, do all the decorative art in all the stores. And I brought Jody along to that. And she became like one of the best like marble artists, you know, that we had in the group at the time. She excelled really good. So it was always in her.
So,
Well, as I'm similar in that respect because it's in me as well. I'll never forget when I was in high school, we did have an art teacher and she wanted us to cut out and make a collage. So I cut out all these glamorous photos of, you know, movie stars and models and people with gorgeous clothes and faces and skin and hair and jewelry. And she knew right away. She goes,
Wow.
I could
That's
see.
awesome.
She goes, you really love this, don't you? Everything on this collage is super glamorous. She told me that. She actually told me that.
And
Yeah.
And you have to be, you have
Had
to
a passion.
You have to remember, I was in high school, and high school, it was in me, but it didn't come out of me because I had to wear a uniform. I had to look a certain way.
Oh, okay, you went to Catholic school?
You know,
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah.
I wanted to go. My parents wanted me to go to Catholic school, but I never, for some reason, I never passed the test to get into Catholic school. So they sent me to Delahanty Private High School in Jamaica.
Beautiful.
And but it was like a Catholic school because it was a private school. You had to wear a uniform. You had to look a certain way. I was a brunette. I was very Italian looking.
Right.
I always had these eyes, though, you know.
Beautiful, yeah.
beautiful.
Italian eyes. But enough about me. Now I want to ask you some more questions. And my first question is, tell my audience, John, tell us your journey as an artist. What inspired you to create art?
Okay, yeah, that's pretty easy. You know, I grew up in Howard Beach, so I was basically a train ride to New York City. And I'm going back in like the 90s, early 90s. So I would go and just lose myself in the city, just gallery to gallery, just, you know, wander around. And I was always painting, you know. My mom was an artist, Darlene. She was very talented, so I kind of passed it on.
So it's in your DNA.
Yes, totally. My grandfather, Nick Fasano, was an artist also. So it's like definitely in the DNA. I just knew I wanted to be part of this whatever this was, you know. And I took, you know, I met some good connections in my journeys, what it's all about. Like I took some lessons with Bob Marks at one point, who he wrote a book, Professional Painted Finishes. And his family was well known for doing like the Russian tea house and all that. Back in the day, they did all the decorative work in there. And I had an opportunity to train with him for about, you know, 3 or 4 months. And I learned a lot of new techniques that you can only teach yourself so much when you're self-taught. And then you need to further your education if you want to take it to like a business level, you know?
So
That's how I truly felt.
Your art is really focused, your art, what you do, is really focused, like as I read here, on architectural and decorative and interior design. It's more about making your house, your domain, your you know, just look.
Accent walls, contemporary ceiling finishes, a commissioned painting. You know, these are the things that I do so well, you know. I work good with decorators and designers. They're like almost like a gallery dealer for me as an interior designer that's going to get me on a project.
And like if someone will approach you or commission you to do work, they actually tell you what they're looking for, what they want, what kind of a painting they want you to.
Right. And I usually meet with them at their house, you know, or we would take a walk and get a feel for what they're into and look around. And usually I have free reign of what I want to paint when it comes to that. You know, if it's a surrealism, if they're interested in that style, like that behind me is a piece with like the East Hampton windmill. This is for a customer. Yeah.
That's so famous right here on the East End. And I must ask you, John, that's probably your most favorite place. Everybody tells me they love the Hamptons because it's such a
I love it.
beautiful place to capture. And I always ask them, why is that? And they always tell me it's the lighting.
Yeah. And
Is
it's the
that
land of the
really true?
Hamptons.
Is it really the lighting?
It's gorgeous.
So pretty. Everything right now is just plush and green and vibrant. You know, it's amazing.
Well, you know, from the city, it's such a different feel out here. We've been out here for probably a dozen years, and it's just like, I just love the tranquility and the peacefulness that I get, peace of mind out here. And, you know, there's a lot of beautiful things in the Hamptons.
I know. You don't have to tell me, darling. You don't have to tell me.
Absolutely, I know. You're all
I'm
over. I
always
see
in the
everything.
Hamptons. I'm always going to events.
I
Right
know.
now,
Absolutely.
because
We've
of
been
the
following you
COVID.
from the beginning.
Yeah, because of the COVID, you know, I'm not really
We've seen all of your
spending much
interviews.
time. So, I mean, my next question really was going to be, what are you trying to communicate to the world about your art? But I think pretty much you answered that in the last answer that you just gave. You want to create the surrealism. You want to create.
Yeah, like this lucid, you know, doorway. You have to have like a lucid dream, and you're in like almost another reality, where it's almost like that. You know, this world exists. You know, and a lot of people can't get there through dreaming. Like a lucid dream is a very interpretive dream where you have control of the dream. You could do things, and I try to bring that into my paintings because then it just breaks up the realism. It just creates like your own world. You know.
Explain to my audience about this painting that you're sitting in.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about this painting.
All right, so most of my paintings come from my dreams, and this is the last flight of the monarch. So that's the last flight of a monarch butterfly.
The last flight
of the monarch.
Of the oh, you mean like a ruler, like a king, a queen?
No, the monarch butterfly.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. So this is the last flight of the monarch. This is an oil painting on canvas, 60 by 48 inches. It's a big canvas, and it just has this real eerie quality, but it's got life to it. It's almost like it's being born and given a new life, and it's like it's going into, I don't know, it's just going into this this world of its own, you know.
Very whimsical looking. It has a whimsical type of
It
fantasy
definitely has a whimsical. He puts in the Hamptons grass.
I was trying to keep it like Hamptons inspired, you know, with the beach grass.
Yes.
And you know, and the Hamptons could be, you know, very foggy and misty some mornings, you know. And it's just this burst of color with this butterfly, you know, that's just, is it its last flight, or, you know, like where is this butterfly going, you know? When I paint, I don't really know what I'm going to paint. That's the thing. Like these things just continue.
They just evolve.
It's a continuism. Yeah. Like I started just painting a butterfly in a windmill, and then a horse went into a Sagittarius, giving birth to like a person, you know? I was very Dali inspired as a kid. Like I love Dali, you know, people always bought me Dali stuff. Yeah, like cards and
well, he was a brilliant artist. I mean,
love him.
And that was going to be one of my questions. Tell my audience some of the famous artists that have inspired you to become an artist.
Absolutely. You know, Basquiat, Jean-Michel Basquiat was one of my favorites with Andy Warhol. And, you know, I can paint in a couple of different styles. I have a picture. Can I show you real quick of an Elvis, a pop art
right
style?
ahead. That's what we need.
So then I do like, you know, like this is like Elvis. Like, so I could do like pop art also.
Oh my God, that is so amazing.
I didn't know which one to hang up, you know, but my styles changed. I'm very versatile.
And it's got a glitter.
Now, what made you, with this particular piece of Elvis, what made you, it's almost like purplish, the background.
Yeah,
it is.
It totally is, yeah.
Purple.
Why did you want that? What was the reason behind the purple in the background?
All right, so I'm really into like like mysticism, like mysticism, and like
Yes.
UFOs and all that. Like,
When
I love
Prince
that
died,
stuff.
too.
John,
And
I
I
love,
love
John,
Okay.
I love that too.
I love
you
that
watch
stuff.
that
Yes.
TV show, Ancient
I saw the
Aliens? You watch
Yes.
Ancient Aliens? I love
Absolutely.
that show.
Yeah,
I'm convinced, John, I'm convinced.
absolutely. They're right.
I
Yeah,
lived,
free energy.
I'm convinced that I was reincarnated and that I was Egyptian and that I
Very
also,
possible.
yeah, no, I believe that. And I also lived during the time of the French Revolution.
Wow, I love that era. Amazing.
I really
Yeah.
believe that. I believe I live, and what's going on in our world right now, I almost feel that I witnessed this before. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a
'Cause I
deja
lived-
vu.
Yeah,
Right.
because I lived
That's-
through another time where there was a revolution.
Of
And
course.
not the American Revolution. I believe I lived
French.
through the French period. Because
Amazing.
my whole house is, you come to my house, I have French provincial furniture.
Do you
I
want to
have-
hear something strange? I did the DNA test and it came back that I was related to
Oh.
Marie Antoinette somehow in the bloodline. Is that
Yeah.
bizarre? How bizarre is that? The DNA test that you get?
Hey, maybe we're cousins. We might be cousins. Who knows?
Isn't that crazy?
We
Yeah.
might be-
And it came,
you-
I was
well,
like,
they're
you gotta be kidding
cousins.
me.
Maybe we're cousins. I don't know.
Cool jeans. I
Yeah.
I
know.
am part French. I'm a little bit French
He has a little French.
from my grandmother's side.
I'm
Francis.
really
Where
Italian.
is your family from? What part of Italy?
Calabrese and Apollon,
Okay,
mostly.
I'm strictly Sicilian, all the way around.
Oh, that's JODIANN.
Yeah,
she's-
I'm
Yeah.
Sicilian.
Yeah.
My
They
father.
say that Sicilians have a lot of Greek and other things in them.
I just found out that I have some Greek
You're so
in me.
right. Her DNA came up half Greek and half Sicilian.
So this, you
So
want to hear
true.
something? You want to hear something pretty funny? My kids did the test first, and they come from both a very Italian background. I married my first ex-husband. He's from Italy. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
I'm half Sicilian and Barese. My grandmother was from Bardi. So the kids are like, okay, we're fully Italian. So the ancestry came back, and they're like, there's Greek in us, and there's no Greek on the Sperlingano side. And then I had to take the test, and when I took the test, it showed that the Sicilian, the Baltic, and Greek.
Right.
So I was like,
Amazing.
oh
Who would have
my
known?
God.
She never
And
knew.
I have cousins. I'm
Yep.
Sicilian, but I have cousins that look Scandinavian. I have one cousin, he's older now, but when he was young, he was like 6'5",
Wow.
and
Blue eyes.
Light
Flaming-
hair?
flaming red hair. He
I
looked
believe
like a Viking. He looked like a
Well,
Viking.
you know what's funny? Yeah,
That
I
could
get it.
be.
My
That could be.
my son's beard, he's dark just like me. When his beard grows in, he's got the red.
And
And
his
it's-
brother just passed away, and his brother was short and not as big. He was not big at all. He was only like 5'8", 5'9", maybe. That's normal.
Wow.
Italian people are not
What
big.
part of Sicily? Oh, where are you from?
My mother's side is from Messina, and my father's side is from Palermo. But these are
Palermo.
people. But these were relatives of mine from they were cousins. So I don't think I have like a direct bloodline to these people because they're more like my father's side of the family, and it was an aunt that married into a family. She married a man that had blonde hair and blue eyes, and he was Italian. And his grandkids came out, like this one boy came out. Look, and people used to say to him, "That's not your brother.
I know.
You're 6'5", and
crazy?
he's 5'9",
Yeah.
and you got red hair, and he's got." That's my real brother. I'm not a dog.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That
You know,
amazing?
it could be like, the Vikings, they went everywhere.
Yeah, that's
They
what happened.
traveled.
I'm
Yeah.
sure of it. I mean, I don't know if I have that in me. I think I'm
Sure.
more Mediterranean. I think I'm more.
You have to take the DNA test. 21andMe. It's awesome.
I'm so
23andMe.
fascinated by that. Now, we got to get back to the art. So now, you told me about the artists that have inspired you. Now, tell my audience a little bit more how you want to develop your career with what you're doing. How are you? where would you like to go with all of this?
Okay.
By the way, those paintings, before we get into that question, these paintings that you have just showed me, are they projects that you've worked on? Are they already saleable, or are people buying them as we speak? I mean, do you have buyers?
Yeah, this is a commission. This one is going to be sold when it's finished. It's not quite finished yet, but
Right.
the Elvis is for sale. That one, I'm doing like a pop art series, like Elton John. I'm going to do like Prince, all these great celebrities that I personally like.
So
I'm doing that series.
Is that in conjunction with how you want to develop your career as an artist?
Yes.
Where are you going with the art? Tell me
Okay.
where you're going.
Yeah. As I'm getting older, I want to start focusing like into galleries now, and more commissioned work, and build up that type of clientele. My work with the interiors is strictly like do like a ceiling piece or like an accent wall. I narrowed it down to that. That's going wonderful. But I definitely am looking for like the gallery scene, which I've been in a few shows, group shows.
Exactly. And
so
how do you seek out your opportunities? Just through the interior designers and the galleries, or do you do anything else to seek out other opportunities for the art?
That's a good question. And actually, it's through both of those networks, both of them. So it's like a dual network. You have to find like certain paths to go when you're an artist, because it's not going to fall into your lap. You have to go. Besides making the paintings, you have to do your own website. You have to do your own advertising, and you have to do your own networking and making connections. I've always been very good at that. I have no problem meeting and greeting people, and it's just getting into the next level. And then you have to start selling your work. It's just a matter of timing, I guess, and being in the right place. But my next focus is a solo show. Solo show is my next focus.
When you say solo, does that mean that you want to put it into a gallery and you're the only artist?
Yes, yes, that's my next big goal as an artist, is to have about 30 paintings. Okay. And now I'm not sure, but now I have to think, do you want to do surrealism or do you want to do pop art? It's either got to be one or the other. It's got to be like a network of paintings in one style.
Right, it has to have like a theme behind it.
Right, with the theme. So I'm in the process of doing it. So I'm doing a couple of surrealism, a couple of pop arts, and then I'm just going to feel it out and start, doing the footwork to get into the gallery that'll accept my work.
See, that's a very important thing, because people, like you said, you can't just create art and you have to have a business concept behind it, because you're creating this art and you want people to buy it. You want people to like it. So you have to have a feel for what people want, what they're looking for, and the type of art that's popular.
Correct.
Am I
it's
right?
A lot. Yeah, absolutely. It is a business. One of the first books I read when I was young was The Business of Art. And I read that book like 3 or 4 times over and over before the internet was around. I would just read this book, The Business of Art, and it really said just what you stated. You can't just make paintings. Like, you have to have some type of focus of where you're going, develop a style that people are going to accept, and bring it to the public eye, because it's when you bring it to the public, that's where it's going to sell, not in my studio. I got to get it out to the world,
I read something interesting about artists and, for interviews and questions. And one of the questions was, like, how do you determine the price of the painting? Because I've seen artists, they say this piece of art is worth $10,000, $50,000. And people look at them and say, I don't think so.
You know what, that's the level that different artists are at. One of my favorite artists is Andrea Koch. And I love her. They were in the Hamptons, Richard RJD. I think they moved to Michigan now. His wife, her work.
Yes.
She's in that upper level. She can get what she wants. It's phenomenal.
But there are some people that nobody has ever heard of them, and they think that they
cannot be
deserve to have
charging that.
this.
Yeah, right. When I price it, it's got to be compatible with the gallery that I'm showing at. It's got to be within that network of pricing.
It has
You
to
know.
be. It has to be
Yes.
realistic. You can't
Right.
expect. You can't expect people, you know, to go into a gallery and not really know who you are. I mean,
Right.
people know who you are, but there
Absolutely.
are artists out there, nobody knows who they are, and they put this painting in there, and people say, well, I'm not going to pay this for this person.
I know.
I don't know who they are, you know? So
Yeah.
it's a little,
So
you
it's
have
a
to really,
business
you have to
venture.
be realistic when you're deciding the price of
Absolutely. And when I'm dealing with my personal clients in these houses that, you know, we're doing these great finishes in, and then there's empty walls, because most of these houses I'm working are brand new, you know, and they're in the Hamptons and Shelter Island. I just sold 2 prints to one client, you know, because there's empty wall space. And I'll give them a reasonable price, you know, obviously it's coming right out of my studio, you know. With another
Right.
customer, I gave, you know, we sold them an abstract for the wall, you know, that I showed them my work, you know, they loved it. So it's almost like it gives me an opportunity to deal with clients that have these new houses with all these empty walls. It gives me kind of like first dibs, but like you said, you can't go in with astronomical prices, you know, they're just not going to deal with you.
Exactly.
I'm a reasonable man, you know.
Of course. Now, I'm looking at you in that shirt.
It's my birthday present. Yeah.
Did you make this?
No, this was a gift. I think my wife bought it for me because, you know, I love that whole
Because
subject.
you love aliens.
So yeah, it's such like
John, did you ever
inspiring.
see
I
flying
photographed.
saucer or I shouldn't say flying saucer.
Yeah.
Silly. It's a UFO. That's what I need to see. Have you ever seen
Actually,
a
we
UFO?
both have.
Cognac, I swear to you, February 16th, 2008, about 3:30 p.m. I have several photographs
We
of
had just
something
met.
near JFK that was flying around airplanes. And we did photograph something. And I had sent it in to like these networks to see what it was, and it was published. I'll send you the link where you can see this. It's been published as a unidentified flying object. So when I saw that, I was like, what? You know, it changed my whole mind of the world. Like, who's going to invest in oil stocks now? I mean, you know, the future is like free energy. It's out there. After you see something like that, it inspires you, you know? And,
Absolutely.
you know, it's starting to slowly come out now into the public eye with the government releasing its files, you know, recently.
I mean,
you know, you've seen it on TV now.
I mean, for us to think that we are the only civilization that's on a planet, that we're the only planet that has,
That's what I said.
it's just bizarre.
It's
for us
just
to even
bizarre.
think that.
I mean, come on.
Thousands. Yeah,
we don't
it's
even know.
bazillions.
There's zillions of
Bazillions.
planets out there,
Thousands.
all
Yeah.
kinds of beings on them.
Oh,
And
sure.
I mean, how can we be
Absolutely.
the only ones? How can
That's
we
what
be
I
the
say.
right?
I mean, you have to be really closed-minded.
Well, you think of it, how do we get here, you know? Somebody must have put us here, you know? We're floating in space, you know? All of us were floating. Earth is floating in space, right? Think of it like that, you know? Somebody had to fly
I hope
here
the
and put us
viewers
here.
continue to watch.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, these are just my personal thoughts in life that I know there's more.
I totally agree with you.
I have evidence of it, yeah.
First of all, I don't believe, I mean, how come all of a sudden we went from the Stone Age
Absolutely.
with people living in caves to the Egyptians? I mean, how did that happen? There's like no space in between.
You know, I'll tell you know, you're right. I worked with a builder once that was building beautiful mansions, you know, in Hampton. Beautiful. Listen, and he had all this equipment, and I became friends with him. We would do the painting in the house, and you know, and we were talking one day. I said, his name was Paul. I said, Paul, how did they build the Egyptians? I mean, how did the Egyptians build the pyramids?
Right.
And he was like, the UFOs built those. When he told me that, this builder, because this guy had a machine that could barely, this expensive machine that was moving these rocks, and the machine was struggling with these big stones, you know, for his house. And I could just think of what you were saying, these pyramids, these giant, you know, megalithic, you know, 5,000 tons.
I have a friend, she's a very famous, she's a best-selling author. She doesn't write anymore, she's elderly now, but she has read so many books about this. And Tesla, I don't know if you know about Tesla, but he believed in there was some kind of gravity where the stones
Yeah,
were.
you know.
There was something that
Absolutely.
they would use to
Anti-gravity.
stones.
Absolutely.
And that's
True.
how they got these pyramids in the shape. It wasn't from
Oh, sure.
slaves pulling.
No.
There's
You
no
couldn't have
way.
enough slaves to do that work. There's actually a scientist that was able to move a bowling ball using anti-gravity, electrical currents. He actually lifted a bowling ball in the air. It's somewhere on YouTube. One of these scientists that are like geniuses, working out of the basement.
Tesla believed this, and he
Oh,
wrote.
sure.
But they tried to.
He was a genius.
They tried to stifle him.
Well, the electricity came out, and that was big money, and they were all invested in that, and they had to get him out of the picture. Just kind of like free energy, how it would wipe out everything as we know it, religions, oil, it would.
The Egyptians were like, from 1 minute, they were so advanced.
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing before the Egyptians. It was Stone Age,
That's
and then
right.
we learned about the Egyptians. And these are people that shaved their heads, they wore wigs, they bathed, they had,
hieroglyphics are incredible. The artwork.
They used to paint. I mean, I read somewhere that the women, the people, not just women, but the reason why they wore a lot of eye makeup on their eyes, it was to protect their eyes from the sun. That was the reason for the makeup that they used to wear.
Okay.
I believe that. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were way ahead of their time.
Way ahead.
Way ahead. And then also, I tease my husband all the time. I says to my husband, you're Egyptian because you want to keep the money. You want to save the money and put it in the casket with you because you think you're going to go to another life. I always tell him that.
You're not taking it with you, yeah.
I said to him, you were Egyptian once, and this is why
great.
you are the way
You
you
to be
are.
buried with this treasure, yeah.
He wants to be buried with his treasure. You
That's
got
funny.
it. And he laughs at me, but I believe in that stuff. I totally believe in it. Totally. So we're going to get into some more questions.
All right, great.
Now, tell my audience how you cultivate your collector base. How do you do that? How do you cultivate a collector's base?
Well, that's just, through contacts. It's through my contacts. Interior designers designing a house, need a painting. They'll contact me to commission maybe an abstract or something with using these colors. I found that for myself personally, like using interior designers is a great way to make contacts and sell artwork, rather than being in a gallery, because it can happen all year round,
Do you have favorite galleries right now? I know you showed at the White Room Gallery. Do you have any other galleries that you're fond of that have showed your work?
I love the White Room Gallery. I love them. Those girls are great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They have some, I got to get over there. They have some really wild shows right now. Like Mr. Brainwash is there. That was one of the, that was like the nemesis of Banksy, Mr. Brainwash. His work was recently shown there, which I couldn't get there with this whole COVID. I'm going to get there soon. But I love the RJD gallery, but they're not there now. I mean, I really love that work.
Didn't he also have, did he have a gallery in New York City too, besides Hamptons, or was it just in the Hamptons?
That's a good question. I just stumbled upon him in the Hamptons, and I know he's in Michigan now. Apparently has a couple of galleries in Michigan.
I know. What about Margot? Did he go with him? Margot?
I'm not sure. I don't know, Margot.
You don't know if he did or not, huh?
No.
Well, I think I heard the reason why he went to Michigan is that's where his wife was originally from.
That's right. Absolutely.
I think that
ringing a bell.
So maybe it's beyond what we think. Maybe there's personal reasons why they had to go. We don't know. But,
I'm getting more
perhaps.
I'm gonna go get more champagne kisses.
Oh, go get some more. Let's go and get some more champagne kisses. Now,
That's great. More vino.
Yeah.
And we could discuss your jewelry.
I'm going to ask you the number one question because we're all dealing with this. We've all had to adopt our lives. We've all had to adjust our lives. How has this COVID changed your life and your art? How has it done that?
It's almost like just before COVID hit, I was doing all these drawings on pencil and wood, and I was doing a lot of. This was in pre-March. I was drawing like a lot of skulls. I could show you the pictures. Just a lot of like this stuff, like of death and stuff. I don't know where it was coming from. I was just drawing it out. Sometimes I feel like you're intuitive with things that are going to happen. You know. When the COVID hit and all these people started dying, I was actually very scared, you know, for what was happening. You didn't know. Was this a biological weapon? Is it just natural from nature? Like, I had so many questions, and I progressed though, business-wise progressed. I was able to continue working because I was working in houses that were empty, you know, so I went in with my crew and we painted the houses, we did the decorative finishes. So I worked right through it. But I remember driving through the Hamptons and there was not one car on the road going to these jobs in the morning. And it was such an eerie feeling, like The Walking Dead, like out of a movie. It was
science fiction, like a science fiction.
Yeah, I felt like I was part of a science fiction movie.
Me too.
And you know, this is really has made I don't know what to believe. There's so many things going on with it.
I agree with you. So many things. There's so many people believing so many different things. It's so hard to keep track of what is real and what isn't real. And honestly, I don't really believe there's a virus anymore. That's my honest opinion. I don't believe there's a virus anymore. I think all of us want to just have a wonderful, normal life again. Yes. We all want to live a happy life. And no matter who no matter what you believe, we all still want to live a full, happy life and be creative and be happy with our families. That's what I believe. But do you think that
life will prevail?
Right. But do you think that your art has changed as
I was going into a dark period with my work before the COVID hit. And this is one of the paintings I was doing last year, you know, into it, you know, and I just stopped painting it, but I have to finish this and get this out. But everything was going into this dark realm, you know. You could totally feel it. I think artists are very sensitive people. I'm very intuitive. I can stand next to someone and feel I can feel their mood, like their vibes right away. That's like a gift. I think all artists have that, you know. You can feel tension, you know.
Now, have you traveled the world? Have you gone to like Italy and other places?
You know, it's funny you say that. We were definitely scheduled to go to Italy pre-COVID, my wife and I.
Yes.
With her, you know, business.
With my business.
And her line of work. And, you know, we were going to like a tile show and see all the tile in Italy. And it was canceled, you know. And that would have been my first time the first time I would have been back, you know.
I have to tell you, I love doing the Zoom now. It's so much easier to do the Zoom. Yeah. But I miss the party. You know, I used to go to all these wonderful charity galas. I do miss the party. But the Zoom is a lot easier. It really is. For me, it's a lot easier. But, you know, what can you do? You adopt. This is what you do. You adopt to the world. You adopt to the changes that are going on in the world. So tell us now, are you working on any new projects that we should know about?
Okay, so the latest project that we're working on right now, I'm with a decorator. Her name is Pam. She's very low key. Pam Schneider. She's working at Sag Harbor. She's been published in a couple of magazines, her work. So I'm very lucky to have been chosen to, you know, paint one of her projects. It's a historic home. It was built in like the late 1800s. And we went in there and we've done like a lot of like, you know, some decorative work on the floors, decorative work on the ceilings. Everything was painted white, but there's all these beautiful vintage handles from like box locks that you just don't see anymore. The antiques, the antiquity in his house is really nice.
I love
we had-
antiques. Well,
Yeah.
That's now you hear the the Egyptian and the French and all the
Yeah, it was
vibes
so
coming
cool to
through.
do a house like that. It was so
Yeah.
different from the modern contemporary world.
I
you know?
used to, when I was young, I liked the modern, but now I like the antiques. Isn't that wild?
I love it. It's so cool. Yeah, and we like carefully. It was like a science project working this job. We had to carefully strip paint off of these handles that were like, cast in the 1800s, and bring them back to the doorknobs and everything. Bring them back to the original state. Reinstall them on the doors. It's just like a work of art. The whole house.
I just have to
incredible.
put my 2 cents
Yeah.
in.
Go right ahead.
He is unbelievable. I mean, he is so meticulous. He
Detailed.
goes to people's houses, and he's kind. He's so good to the customers. He's amazing at what he does, and not because he's my husband, but when I see the work, I'm like, there is nobody who gives more love to a house than he does. And I just got to put that out there because he doesn't see it, but he just loves doing it. So I just got to tell him how great it is.
See, that's why I married her. She's so good. Thank you.
Oh, well, what are you gonna do?
You're a beautiful couple. You really are a beautiful, beautiful couple. Very
we love you
sweet.
too. Thank you. Thank
Very
you.
sweet. I remember when I met you guys.
Yeah.
We met at Art Hamptons.
Yeah.
That's right. The first show,
Oh my God.
VIP. Yeah.
When
I
I go back
remember
and I see
that. And I looked
interview,
different.
I
I
love
used to
it.
wear my hair,
I
Yes.
love it.
That was a great,
And then I was like,
great
oh my
show.
God,
Yeah.
that was almost 12 years ago. 12, 13
My
years
God,
ago.
that was the first show they had.
We
Yeah.
were just getting in, we were just becoming acquainted with the Hamptons. Now we're a local, I guess.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely. Yeah.
Where do you live, Hugo? Where do both?
Well, right now we're on the North Fork, so we're in Aquabog.
Where is this?
We're on the North Fork of Long Island. So the South Fork and the North Fork. South Fork is like, Southampton,
the yard.
Watermill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a nice horse. Our neighbor has the horse. He's right
I
here.
don't know how to flip
Do
the
you
screen.
live? Do you live in an old house or do you live in a modern house?
It's
It's an older house.
It's an older house from the 70s.
Very retro.
Is it
Retro.
Is it haunted?
Yeah,
No,
right?
it's not. No, I wish it
No.
was because
But
Actually,
you
I had a
told me a
millimeter.
story once that you were in a haunted house. Share that with us. Tell us that story. You were
That
doing
was in-
artwork, right? Go ahead. Tell us the story.
All right, so I had a millimeter, right? You know what a millimeter is? It picks up electromagnetic waves.
Right.
And I went with my stepson. Who was that? My daughter's boyfriend at the time.
Ex-boyfriend.
The ex-boyfriend now. We loved him. He was great. We snuck into the lighthouse over there in Montauk. We snuck into not the lighthouse. What's it called? Camp Hero. The radar tower.
Right.
And I had the millimeter, and I have a camera, and it started picking up like 3.8. There's no electricity or anything there for miles. There's nothing, so it shouldn't be picking up anything. It started picking up
Exactly.
wave 1.8. I have it all on video too. And when I slow down the video, you see these two beams of light just pass, like orbs, two orbs. Like they look like almost like an oval. And there's one, you see it pass. And there's like another one. And I slowed down that footage. I recently just discovered it was on there because I have friends that are doing the same thing right now. They want like haunted houses. And I said, well, let me find my footage that I have. And I was slowing it down, and I found it. And I was like, oh my God,
What the hell is this?
that?
You probably said,
Yeah,
what the hell is
It's
this?
crazy.
That's something. There is something it was so bizarre. I almost want to send it into a TV show because there's definitely something there. Definitely something there.
There is something you said, there's paranormal activity.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. A lot went on there.
But weren't you in a house one day and you were painting and you felt like somebody was looking at you? Did you tell
Yes.
us that?
I was
Tell us
doing
about that
yes.
experience.
Okay. It was actually, I was painting a church in Queens. I was doing a ceiling mural.
Oh, yes,
And I was
I remember
working
that.
back then. I was younger. They're going back like 15, 20 years ago. I was working I worked like midnight. I worked like 10 o'clock to like 3 in the morning, the wee hours, no one's around doing the mural. And I usually have a helper with me, but now I was getting into the artwork, so I was just there by myself, you know. And I started getting like this really, like the hair on my arm started going up, like this very eerie feeling, you know. And remember the old cameras, the snap cameras that you had, that you could take the film, you take the camera right to the photographer and they develop it before, you know, before digital.
Right.
So I just started snapping pictures, because I always brought a camera to take pictures of my work, you know.
Of course.
And I was painting a Christ head actually on the ceiling. It was a Christ head and clouds. That's what they wanted, you know. And I started taking pictures like behind my shoulder, and I developed the photos like a month later. I just forgot they were even there, and I started looking at them.
But did you have the feeling that somebody was looking at you?
Oh, there was a face. There was a face on the photo.
You felt someone.
There was a face of a woman. It looked like the Blessed Mother. I don't know what it was. It looked like she had like that robe over, and almost like these like almond, big almond eyes, like, you know. And I felt it. It was very strange. And when I saw that picture, I was like, it was an old picture. You know, I don't even know where it is anymore. It's just so long ago.
I
showed you it, right?
Yes,
and that
showed me. And
I've had a few like experiences in my life.
Yeah, with all our moves, we lost that one.
But that was pretty crazy.
But that was in a photo. But did you ever see? Have you ever had a paranormal?
No.
No, actually,
I've never seen a ghost. I've never seen an apparition.
I had it.
You had it.
It happened to me when we were dating, and we went to Florida for a little bit to visit his sister, and we stayed there for 6 months. On our way back to New York, we stayed with his aunt in Belmore.
Okay, that's like literally 5 minutes from my house, Belmore.
Belmore.
Yeah, North Belmore.
North Belmore. So we were downstairs sleeping, and I remember this as vivid. It was like yesterday. And John was sleeping on the couch downstairs, and I was on another couch, and we were going to bed. And then that night, I felt pressure on my feet, and I was in the blanket, and it was dark, and I was just like, oh, so I thought it was his aunt, who's elderly, who came, and I see the woman going like this, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace. And she's rocking, and she's saying the Hail Mary, and I was like, oh my God, who is this? Why is his aunt downstairs?
Yeah, my cousin's house was definitely haunted.
So as I pulled the covers up to my neck, I didn't even want to move. I was scared to death, because I don't even know. Now I'm like, there's no.
Which is strange. It could have been my grandma Rosie who passed away, and she always did the rosary.
I kind of, afterwards, I just was like, John, I called for him, and he got up, and he's like, what? I was like, is your aunt downstairs? Did she come downstairs? I felt her downstairs. He goes, no, there's nobody here. But there was literally somebody on the end of my feet saying the Hail Mary in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Now I
don't know. I never.
Did anything ever happen after that? Did anything, like, why would this person be doing that, praying?
I don't know. I have no idea. But when I told him, he said to me,
right,
God, you were like, this happened prior to my aunt in the house. It was like an ongoing thing. I guess maybe it was his aunt, his grandmother.
My grandma Rosie, probably.
They think it's his grandmother that visited.
It's amazing how these things frighten us.
Oh,
we really have to be.
I
know, but do we really have to be frightened? You wonder, right? Do we really have to be frightened?
Yeah, not of that. Yeah, that's a good entity.
Right, that's good. But I've seen people tell me, you know, they've seen horror, evil things, and
yeah, I've never seen. Well, I did see one thing once, but it could have been a lucid dream where you ever, like, you want to wake up from a dream, your eyes open. What do they call that? But you can't get up. They call that something. Paralysis.
Yeah.
Some people go to a state of paralysis, and they see very vivid images. You know.
Do you ever? Well, obviously that what you have behind you looks like it was a dream. Do you paint from your dreams?
I definitely get inspired. It gives me ideas of other work that I've had, you know, and it's always like this world and that world. There's two things going on, this duality of these two different worlds, the unseen world and the reality we live in.
And that's what you want to capture in your art. You want to capture that.
I want to express that, you know, because I don't, you know, it's something that everybody's different, you know, we're all individuals. We all have these different everyone sees something different in life, and to be able to express what I see, or what I feel, maybe can send a message of that. Maybe there's more to this,
Well,
more to the naked eye.
that's the most beautiful thing about art. You could paint something and you have something in your mind that you want the world to see, but other people will see something different in your art, and it will touch that person in a different way, and it'll motivate them in a different way than what you even wanted. It could be
Right.
something so much more, outrageous than what you're trying to capture and what you want people to see. They might see something different in that painting. That's the beauty of art. That's what's so beautiful about art. Am I right or am I wrong?
100% correct. And that's why I don't like to always explain my work. Like, I want you to see what you see, because like what I saw in this painting was a whole nother world. Like when I explain it to people, I lose them. But they're like, I see a beautiful butterfly just in the Hamptons floating, They don't, is deeper meaning, but it's hard to explain it. Like you said, everybody has their own vision.
Interpretation of
Yes.
what it is. And the best thing is to just let it go. Let these people run with it, And
Right.
that's really, and I've had artists tell me that. But, we are coming to a close now, and of this wonderful interview. It's a long interview. It might be a two-parter. I have to see
Okay.
a new show.
All right.
I love it.
But I want you to tell my audience where we can go to find out more information about you as an artist. Where can we go?
Absolutely. Very easy. www.johnfasano.com. And everything is there.
And
My fine art, my decorative finishes, to contact me for an appointment.
And tell us about the interior design company that works with you. Maybe you could tell us their website too.
Yeah, well, she's very low key, this decorator
Okay.
right now, so I can't really say that.
Okay. All right.
But I want to look at, JODIANN has jewelry here that she's been making.
Yes, show it to us. Show us.
Oh,
Take a peek at this.
you're gonna have.
JODIANN, take a peek.
So anyway, I just do
Let me see.
nothing on his scale. But
No, she's got her own little stuff going on there.
I do boho beads. Basically, I make these all handmade to anybody's city, Hampton Bays. I do homemade. I make these beautiful friendship
Garlands.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And you have to see these.
I do the bracelets. John has them on. The
check these out.
Awesome.
She's
Oh,
doing all
wow.
these, and they have skulls on. I love skulls. So she's got like.
They're essential oil infused. You put some essential oils on it, and I make word bracelets. These beautiful necklaces. This says warrior because I feel like I'm just like a warrior and I just conquer. I try to conquer.
Darling, we're all warriors, right?
That's right. Right? We're all warriors.
We're all
You have a
warriors right now.
And, I have a site. I sell on Etsy. I'm doing some trade shows and some craft shows and
What's
stuff
your
like
website
that.
for that?
And it's just
Tell my audience.
It's you could go to Etsy. It's www.etsy.com/shop and then /JODIANN Fasano.
Fabulous. Well, you guys was such a treat to interview. I had so much fun talking to you about so many different things about how you're inspired by many, many subjects to create beautiful pieces of art. And don't go away. I mean, we're going to sign off, but I want to chat with you a little bit more after we sign off. And I wish I was there to give you a big pink champagne kiss.
I know.
We love you.
We love
How
you.
about air
I
kisses?
will blow the kiss to you guys. I love you both.
Pink champagne
And
kisses.
pink champagne kisses. And we will be back, darlings, with more celebrity Zoom interviews. Keep watching. Pink champagne kisses.
Welcome back, darlings. I hope you enjoyed my interview, my Zoom celebrity interview with artist John Fasano and his lovely wife, JODIANN Fasano. They have so much creativity behind the both of them. They are such a dynamic team. And we will be back with more Zoom celebrity interviews. Just keep subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. My channel is all about Zoom celebrity interviews and fabulous shopping hauls with Shein, Fashion Nova, Bath and Body Works, Victoria's Secret, and of course my very, very favorite, Amazon. Again, don't forget to subscribe, darlings, and always press the notification bell to let you know when I'm publishing a new video. And I always publish a video every Sunday or Monday. And I love you both. And don't forget to subscribe. And pink champagne kisses.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. I was brought into this world wrapped up in pearls. I love to mingle, though my husband reminds me I'm not single. I meet and greet both the famous and the elite. I ride in limousines, drinking the finest champagne, wearing furs, dazzling diamond jewelry. A girl can't complain. I live the upscale life, dining in the finest restaurants, eating the best caviar for free. And no matter how much I enjoy cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh.
It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.